They'll never see us again. And that was it. Then we went to Warsaw, and we stayed in Warsaw after 3-4 days. Papa went to Lodz to say goodbye to his brothers and sisters, and 2 brothers came, and a nephew came back to Warsaw to say goodbye to us. And I remember going on the bus to the train station to go to Gdynia, and there were riots in the street. And the last thing that I remember about Poland, and I don't know whether I should say it or not, was we were on the bus, and the students, college students, university students, yelling and carrying signs, "Prejdami." And that I'll never forget. That was in my brain. It still is, and that's another reason I won't go back to Poland. Because that's my last memory of Poland, was Prejdami. We were on the bus. We were all scared. And that was it. So,
what do you say Prejdami in English?
down with the Jews.
Evelyn shows us a collection of letters from Bryansk, written to her in 1939, before the war put an end to all correspondence.
Naprawdę nie chce mi się wierzyć, że ty jesteś już
I
tak
can't
daleko od
believe
nas.
that you are seas and continents away from us, reads one of the letters.
Ale kiedy czytałam
Your
twój
golden America is a dream for
to mi się
everyone.
wydawało, że stoisz
You
przede
read
mną.
newspapers and must know what is happening in Germany.
Ach,
Therefore,
naprawdę
you should not
chcę
miss
się
Bryansk,
odbyć taką
even
cudowną
though you had
podróż
your sweet
do tej
childhood here.
szczęśliwej Ameryki,
I hope you will
każdy
forget
marzy
Bryansk
o tym,
soon and
aby
adapt
być
to
w
the
tej
American
złotej
life.
Ameryce.
Jestem w tym samym miasteczku. Już
Life in our shtetl has become unbearable.
wciąż słychać to
I am sick of this hideous word Jew I hear all around me.
Żydowski lud się urodził do
It seems that
cierpienia,
we are born to
ale
suffer.
wierzymy, że w przyszłości
The only
wszystko
hope
się
is that
zmieni
one day
i z
we'll all
radością
be in our sunny
zawitamy do
Palestine.
naszej kochanej Palestyny. Jak niedawno marzyłaś być w tej złotej Ameryce, do której
And you
tak
are
wiele
so
ludzi
far from
tęsknią.
me in your golden
Nie mogę
America.
jeszcze wierzyć, że
I
już
can't
nigdy nie
believe
zobaczę
I won't be
twoją
able to see
śliczną
your beautiful
twarzyczkę
little
i
face
będę
and
mogła
kiss your rosy
ucałować
lips.
twoje purpurowe usteczka.
Look, to jest on Friday night. We used to put this on our table
Szabes.
for Shabbos.
Szabas, obóz na szabas.
Pushinim Tishtach. That was called this, and my mama's silver candlestick. This is the way it looked, Lord.
Niesamowite.
It's pretty, it's still pretty. And we've been here since 1938, and I don't think it's been used since. We have some beautiful candlesticks. And Mama used to put it like right here. At the end of the table. And she used to bench licht. There was what was, and it'll never be again. It's a civilization, a way of life that's gone forever, and it'll never be duplicated. It can't. It was a very rich civilization. How can you transfer the flavor that was? Sure, the American Jews, they're making Shabbos, but have they got them Pushinim Tishtach? I mean, that doesn't make the Shabbos, but it's the little things. It's the way of life. It's in Shula, and are you going to hear it here? Masha, you the calling. You can't, it's just a way of life that I was really blessed to know. I really was. And that is, you asked me about going back to Bryansk. I want to remember, I want to have my memories that I remember, my good memories.
A Holocaust survivor from Bryansk lives in Baltimore. After the war, he came to America. Now, Jack Rubin owns a clothing store.
This is the entrance from the back. In 1947, we came to this country. Now I'm in United States. I'm in America. What will I do here? You don't have money, you don't have a trade, and you can't talk. Everybody looks at you like an dummy. What will I do here? So my uncle saw the way I was walking around. He said, what do you worry about? You don't have what to eat? I'll take you, I had a country out of town. I'll take you over there. You're going to be a whole summer. You're not going to do nothing. You're going to drink and eat. You're going to rest up for all your chores. Said, Uncle, I'm going to get crazy over there. I want to do something. I want to do something. So what can you do? So I told him, I got a landsman in Baltimore, Tucker, Tikotsky. So he told me if I'm not going to be able to do nothing in Philadelphia, I should come to Baltimore. I know him, he knows me, in both together, we'll do something. We used to sell suits. If I'll tell you, we used to buy suits, let's say $5, $6, $2, $3. I even once, to one man, we bought 1,200 suits. Maybe 20% of them we had to throw out. In the rest of them, we paid maybe 50 cents a piece. In the rest of them, we worked it out, you sent to the cleaner. And we had also a seamstress to fix it up and to sell it. And the same thing, shorts. I can only tell you, when I had pants, here you see the pants they lay in. I didn't like the way they lay like this. They don't lay straight. I sold pants for $1. From far away, they looked better than this, the new ones. I sold also pants, $3 a dozen. $3 a dozen. Shorts, $2 a dozen. We used to buy for $1 a dozen. But you have to work it out and grade it out.
With Jack Rubin, I feel we are back in the Shtetl. I can hear him speaking Polish with the same Yiddish accent. I can see his store on the market square in Bryansk. Jack Rubin presides over a small community of people in Baltimore who call themselves Bryanskers. Some of them left Bryansk before the war. A few, like Rubin, survived the Holocaust in Poland. This evening, everyone was asked to bring family photos from Bryansk.
Okay, how you doing? Good. I haven't seen you in a long time, since my mother's birthday party.
Niech pan sobie usiądzie i on panu pokaże, co to jest.
They are joined by their children. Zbyszek Romaniuk is the guest of honor, his computer the main attraction. In it, he has entered 2,000 names of Jewish families from Bryansk.
Greek home, which was a rare home.
Rubin Dawid.
Rubin Dawid jest mój ojciec.
Żona Perla. Tak, żona Perla. Jankiel. Szymon. Szpryńca. Tak, to mam wszystko. Miał duży wkład w budowę synagogi Krawców. Pański ojciec.
Tak.
I znalazłem w dokumencie pana ojca z 1904 roku.
When Zbyszek grew up in Bryansk, the word Jew was always whispered. But here he says the word aloud, sits among Jews and feels trusted. I'm glad for him. I always wanted the same from the Poles.
Postwojczyszko, Zamenszko.
Ja mieszkam w rynku. Tak. Przy ulicy Rynek. Tak, w rynku mieszkam, rynek. W centrum. Pan mieszka po jednej stronie rynku, a ja mieszkam po drugiej stronie rynku. Teraz nie ma nikogo. Nie ma nikogo. Ja jestem Polakiem. Ale nie, ja nie jestem Żydem. Nie. Nie. Nie.
I am eager for Zbyszek to make more connections. A friend of mine teaches a course called Shtetl at Graz College in Philadelphia. He is excited to have Zbyszek in his classroom.
Here is a Pole, right, who has a certain need, a very profound need for the same memory, right? Now his needs may be very different, and in fact he represents a whole young generation in Poland. And
Michael
I can say
Steinlauf,
that,
the instructor, is a son of Holocaust survivors.
no doubt, you know, the focus and the core of this new interest.
Narysowałem tutaj rynek,
He drew the marketplace,
na którym się odbywały główne transakcje handlowe w poniedziałki zawsze, każdego
on
poniedziałku.
Monday was the market day.
Tradycja ta była bardzo stara, od 500 lat.
500-year-old tradition of Monday being the market day.
Był też mniejszy rynek, nazywany koński, gdzie handlowano zwierzętami.
That was, and here was a smaller marketplace called the horse marketplace, where animals were traded.
This is a history class, and Zbyszek is in his element.
W okresie
He
międzywojennym
tells them that in the 19th century, the Jews of Bryansk occupied 400 houses in the town center. Only 10 houses belonged to the Catholics.
Alexander was a major.
If a Pole wanted to live there, he had to be interviewed by the Jewish Communities Board. The Jews controlled the town's economy. The Poles ran the local government. A vice mayor position was reserved for a Jew.
Było tutaj jakieś...
During the break, Michael invites Zbyszek to his office. The two historians have different views about 1918, when Poland regained independence after centuries of foreign occupation.
Jakie fakty? Wiele czytałem wspomnień Żydów z małych miasteczek.
Jews did not support Polish independence, says Zbyszek, and therefore they became a focus of animosity and were called unpatriotic. Why should they be patriotic? Asked Michael. Under Russia, they were one of many minorities, but they didn't know what kind of destiny an independent Poland will bestow upon them. As a matter of fact, they saw nationalism on the rise, and 10 years later, they saw its results, an openly anti-Semitic society.
Jest troszeczkę przesadne.
One of the students has prepared a recital of Shtetl songs in Yiddish. This is a song about a house left behind in a Shtetl somewhere in Poland. At a Polish-speaking radio station in Chicago, Zbyszek and I are invited to tell the story of Bryansk and to answer callers' questions.
Ja chciałem przedstawić Państwu Zbigniewa Romaniuka z miasta, czy miasteczka Bryansk, 160 km od Warszawy, 40 km od Bielska Podlaskiego, 40 parę kilometrów od Białegostoku. Tak, Zbyszek. Kiedy się pojawił na rynku w Bryańsku pierwszy żywy Żyd, od czasu, kiedy 2,5 tysiąca Żydów zniknęło z powierzchni ziemi?
Pojawiali się po wojnie, ale bardzo rzadko. Niestety to było owiane pewną tajemnicą. Ci ludzie nie ujawniali się, przyjeżdżali i wyjeżdżali tak jakby w tajemnicy. Gdy ci ludzie zaczęli mnie odwiedzać, pojawił się pewien element jakiejś pewnie zazdrości, nie wiem, ale zaczęto mnie różnie nazywać, od Judę przez Żyda, przeróżnie.
Od czasu do czasu ktoś wyrył na twoich drzwiach gwiazdę Dawida i od czasu do czasu słyszałeś takie słowa jak pachołek żydowski, tak?
Z tą gwiazdą Dawida to się raz zdarzyło, to nie było wiele razy, a oczywiście niestety w naszym narodzie dzieje coś takiego jak jakaś dziwna zazdrość.
Ja uważam, że to bardzo dobrze, że w ogóle taki temat jest podejmowany i to jak zauważyłem, bo dosyć często słucham waszego radia, dosyć często ostatnio. Wiele ludzi kojarzy słowo Żyd z określeniem jako chciwiec, skąpiec, zły człowiek. To tak naprawdę nie jest. Miałem to szczęście i możliwość spotkania wielu osób pochodzenia żydowskiego, szczególnie tutaj i naprawdę byłem zaszokowany, jak ci ludzie mają pozytywne podejście do życia i do innych osób, jak bardzo troszczą się o swoje rodziny, jak troszczą się o swoich przyjaciół, swoich znajomych i nie tylko osoby pochodzenia żydowskiego, po prostu są to ludzie przez duże L, tak bym to powiedział.
W pewnym sensie uważam, że Żydzi sobie sami zawinili też, dlatego że trzymali się strasznie tacy zamknięci. Nie tłumaczyli nam, nigdy nie mówili, na czym polega ich religia, ich obrzędy.
Mniejszość jest zawsze zastraszona i zahukana. Nie można obciążać mniejszości tym, że mniejszość nie dzieli się z większością prawdą o sobie. To jest obowiązkiem większości, która kieruje państwem, żeby do tej mniejszości dotrzeć.
Mamy kolejnego słuchacza na linii pierwszej. Słuchamy. Halo?
I ja nie mam żadnych ciepłych słów do tych dwóch panów, ani do całego tego klimatu tej audycji. Ja jestem wzburzona i krew się we mnie burzy. Ja nigdy w Polsce nie byłam antysemitą, tutaj jestem od 3 lat i na podstawie tego, co ja słyszałam, ja dopiero teraz stałam się antysemitą. I aż mi się niedobrze robi, a pan Marzyński, który robi takie filmy o Polsce, niech on zacznie robić je o Izraelu i o Żydach.
Jeżeli było 2,5 tysiąca Żydów w Gdańsku i 2,5 tysiąca Polaków w Gdańsku, to 2,5 tysiąca Żydów miało własne budynki, a Polacy mieszkali w suterynach.
Ale ja dziwię się bardzo, bo to niestety Niemiec wszystko zrobił, ale składa się na Polaków. I jednak dochodzę do wniosku, że najlepiej tworzyć historię 50 parę lat później, się wyszukuje kogoś, no smarkaczy, 29 lat, który nie ma pojęcia o historii, która była 50 lat temu. I właśnie tacy tworzą historię i dojdą do wniosku, że właśnie nie Niemcy męczyli Żydów, tylko Polacy. Dziękuję.
When I bring Zbyszek to the Holocaust Museum under construction in Washington, D.C., the words from the Polish radio still ring in our ears. His attempt to maintain a cool command of his Jewish studies keeps colliding with living memories tinted by moral judgments. This museum will again confront him with the question of his people's responsibility for the fate of the Jews. One of the exhibitions in the museum will be dedicated to life in the Shtetl. The exhibit is the result of 20 years of photographic research by a Brooklyn College scholar, Yafa Elayach. She collected some 2,000 photographs taken in a shtetl called a Shishki, not far from Bransk. 1,500 Jews lived in this shtetl. Only 29 survived the war. We are at the home of Yafa Elayach in Brooklyn.
I have to find the Shkop pictures in a minute. Let me see if the synagogue is here. It's not here. Just have to. Not sure in which one is the synagogue. This is Benjamin
Polish,
Kabachnik. Now he was killed. He was the father of that little boy that he was killed in the house of Bikivichova. That's the father of the little boy. He, Liba, his little boy, and him. Each of us that survived is alive because of the Poles.
Każdy, kto uratował się, jest żywy dzięki Polakom.
And those that escaped or are not alive, most of them are dead also because of the Poles.
I ci, którzy zostali zabici, też zostali zabici dzięki Polakom.
Let's say a family, for instance, the family of Rogowski escaped. 5 sons
Rodzina
and a
5
sister.
synów Rogowskich.
And they came to a farmer
Przyszli do chłopa,
that was very friendly with
który
them.
był bardzo przyjazny.
And they asked him for honey because honey you could keep for a long time.
Poprosili o miód.
He gave them.
Dał miód.
The minute they walked out from the house,
W momencie, kiedy opuścili
he
dom,
took a gun
wzięli
and
pistolet
shot and killed.
i strzelili.
He killed 4, 1 escaped.
4 zabili, 1 uciekł.
One.
To jest typowy
Benjamin
przykład.
Rogowski, for instance. So from the entire Rogowski family, 1 son survived. I interviewed him extensively. He could not understand. He died in Israel. He has 2 sons in Vancouver. He told me, I cannot understand why.
Dlaczego oni to
When
zrobili?
he used to come on market day, he used to park his horse in their backyard and used to come the night before
W dniu
and sleep
targowym on
over
trzymał konia u nich w
and
ogrodzie
slept in their
i
house.
spędzał noc u nich.
So in the morning he would be very early at the market.
To był, żeby był rano na targu wcześniej.
It didn't enter his mind.
Nie mógł zrozumieć, dlaczego oni to zrobili.
Why? I mean, he was a friend. I think there were a handful of wonderful people that were willing to give their lives. Everything was an issue of life and death. And unfortunately for others, it was a time to take Jewish property. They were paid for being nasty. They were paid salt. They got the Jewish homes. They got the Jewish clothing. They got the Jewish money. And there was anti-Semitism. There was there for years. It was not something that happened when the German occupation. Because we were different. It is the dislike of the unlike. We were Jewish, and they were Christians, and they hated us because we were different.
The name are in English.
Here, yes. Here, if my father gives, who were the Poles who preached against Jews in church? Królewicz,
Before Jafa's father died, he gave her a list of Poles who were openly anti-Semitic in this Shtetl, along with the list of Jews who were killed by the Poles.
that both were working. They were the assistants of priest Maczulski.
Ilu Polaków brało udział w zabijaniu?
70 Poles, named Polish.
70 Jews.
They were
No,
killed.
because sometimes a family of 5 was killed by 1 person.
Okay.
Or
okay.
1 person
But-
killed
okay.
13 people.
All right, I see. But there, how many Polish names are there?
The Polish names I really didn't count. I counted the victims' names. I did not count the Polish names.
He counts the killers. He, as a Pole, is interested how many were Polish killers. For him, it makes a difference for some reason that someone says 100 and we're only 50.
I feel very sorry that our conversation focuses on those that killed rather than those that saved. I would rather have it focus on those that saved, because he would not be here to tell his story, to do all that, and I would not be here to do all that.
Ona mówi, że jest przykro, że my rozmawiamy w tej chwili o tych, co zabijali. Ona by 100 razy wolała mówić o tych, co ratowali, ponieważ bez tych, co ratowali, ani jej by nie było na świecie, ani mnie.
Zgadza się, tak, tak. Tylko mnie przeraża powiedzmy około 100 osób. Dla mnie to jest rzecz, powiedzmy, coś nowego, bo ja się z takim zjawiskiem na taką skalę nie spotkałem. Owszem, było to kilkanaście osób w jakimś rejonie, ale nie aż 100. 100 to już jest bardzo duża liczba.
I understand, and I understand how painful it must be for you, and you must understand it was very painful for me getting all the names together, because by now I knew each victim, And I also knew many of the Poles as part of my chapter on Market Day. They used to come, they drank in this house, they took photographs in this place, and just a year later, and 2 years later, they killed the people with whom they drank, with whom they did business, whose photographs they took.
How your mother was finally killed? Show me just the scene. How was it?
It was October 20th, 1944. We came back on July 14th, 1944. We were liberated on the 13th, and we came out at night so nobody could see that we were on the farm of Mr. Korkuch, because there were rumors that he is hiding Jews, and if people would know, they would kill him. So he was not safe. So he wanted us to leave at night so nobody would know that he gave shelter to Jews. We slept in the field and came to the town, to Eshishki in the morning. When we walked in, a group of us, the Kabachnik family, all hiding, 15 of us, hiding on Korkuch's farm. When we came in, people came out and said, "How come you are back? Hitler, after all, didn't do such a good job." This was the welcome. My mother was begging my father not to stay. She didn't want to, but the war was going on. And my father said, "We will just stay for a while and then we will move on." The meantime, we got back my brother, my baby brother, from a priest. And there were rumors that we have a lot more gold, not only the gold that we took out during the war, but we must have a lot of gold with us. And that my mother is going to open the drugstore that was owned by my grandmother, that we are going to open again the drugstore in town, the sklad apteczny, that my grandmother will open it.
I była plotka, że oni otworzą aptekę.
And the pharmacist was one of the people that was one of the town outspoken anti-Semites.
I aptekarz był jednym z najważniejszych antysemitów w mieście.
At night, on the 20th of October, there was a bang on the window where my brother and I slept, which was downstairs, and my brother grabbed me by the hand and we ran upstairs to my parents that were sleeping upstairs. A minute later, a grenade was thrown through the window, and all the blankets, the covers and the pillows, everything exploded, and all the feathers were all over. And we heard shooting downstairs. There were Russians also living in our house, 2 Russian officers that were sleeping downstairs, and other Jews that were in the house were jumping from the windows and running, but we couldn't because my mother was holding the baby. So upstairs was a little closet-like, because for the ceiling to be straight was a little closet. I have a picture of the house and a picture of the closet. And we went inside to hide, and my father took a piece of furniture to block the door so it would look like there is no little door there. And we heard them downstairs, and we could identify the voices. We knew who they were. One of them was the son of the pharmacist. And then one of them said, probably Mishinka, my father, they used to call Moshe, but locally everybody called him Mishinka, that he and the daughter of Katsova, meaning my mother, ran away with their children and took all the gold.